very excited to be here at the press conference at the second installment of the Monster Energy Pro Downhill Series. Really, really stoked to be here at Mountain Creek Bike Park. This is for Clay, the series director. Probably quite special. It's your home track, your hometown pretty much. You grew up riding here almost your entire life, so he brought the world stage to his hometown and some of the world's best talent. We've got 3 different countries representing here on the podium in the pro women's class. Before we kick off and start peppering you all with questions to hear about your experiences this weekend and your key learnings, I'm going to hand it over to Clay Harper.
All right, Monster Energy Pro Downhill, round 2 at Mountain Creek. Following round 1, we want to share as much information about these events as we can. So just some quick stats from the weekend. We had 338 racers in total, because remember, this is amateur and pro. We had 51 men in the pro class and 9 women in the women's pro class. And the largest amateur category on the day, once again, consistently, the Cat 1 17-18 men's class. We paid out $14,500 in prize money on the race, plus an additional $1,000 on the SR Sun Tour Whole Shot Award for a $15,500 payout today. This is, as Lars mentioned, the birthplace of the U.S. Open of mountain biking, so this was a pretty special race. We used the track that was very similar to the track we used in 2017 when we brought the U.S. Open back. We made some changes, and overall it was a really successful track. Like, I don't think that we had many complaints on the track. Track good? Yeah, people really liked this track, which was good because we took some risks with the build. George Ryan and the team here at Mountain Creek did a great job. We couldn't be happier as a race organization coming here and doing this. Everyone at Mountain Creek pulled together. Great event, great weekend. I think that one fact that a lot of people probably don't know is that in the middle of men's finals, we narrowly avoided a lightning shutdown by less than a mile, which may have dramatically changed the entire outcome of the race. So all in all, a great weekend, and I'll turn it back to Lars, and we'll kick this thing off. Thank you.
Well, tons of gratitude goes out to Clay Harper and the entire Monster Energy Pro Downhill Series crew of volunteers. The hours that these folks put in are ridiculous. This is not their time to get the limelight. This is your time to get the limelight. So I'll just tee it off to ask if there's anyone in the room. There's a microphone right there to start off. Anyone in the room have questions? We've got representatives from multiple social media outlets here. So someone want to kick off this press conference?
Well, I'm Nick for Vital MTB. Congratulations to all 3 of you. Pretty awesome. I'd like to start with a question for Erice. How does it feel winning at the Pro Downhill Series?
I mean, it's pretty cool. After the first race in Ride Rock Creek, yeah. So I came 3rd in Ride Rock Creek, behind Frida Running and this one here. So yeah, really stoked to be on the top of the podium this time.
That's awesome. And you were just coming off of a race in another country. So what's it like for you traveling across the world? I mean, you're no stranger to it. You're also from far away. So what's it like traveling from across the world and going right back into the racing mindset?
Yeah, it's a bit hectic. Like after racing Poland, I went to stay with some friends in Slovakia for a few days, which was really nice. Had some chill time, and then here staying with some friends and kind of getting into the zone of it, and yeah, ended up working really well. So real stoked.
That's awesome. Congrats.
Thank you.
Aletha, brought in first at the first round, second at the second round, no stranger to the podium. How are you feeling with USDH right now?
I feel great. I have no complaints. I love racing Erice. It's one of my favorites. She really challenged me every time. But honestly, I just love this series already, and it's been great so far.
Awesome. Are you excited for the next one?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'll be going to that one for sure. And yeah.
Nice. What did you think of the track?
The track was different. It was a lot different than what I was thinking it was going to be. I was used to it was kind of what I thought it was, but at the same time not. It was very rocky, which I expected, but it was a lot steeper than what I thought it was going to be. And I liked it.
Perfect. Shelly, congrats. Also no stranger to podiums. You, in the early season, decided not to head to the World Cups. How are you feeling in the USDH scene this year?
Yeah, pretty stoked to see the series get bigger, and we go into the whole country. We're going to California next, so that's pretty sick. It's a really good series, and the track was so sick here, honestly. Yeah, some really good changes. Mountain Creek's always been one of my favorite places, but the track really like stepped up a notch. Some proper East Coast stuff. Like as you said, it was rocky, and they brought some more like East Coast stuff, and that was pretty cool because we don't get to see the East Coast NAR a lot. So yeah, super stoked.
That's awesome. Are you excited for the California race, which probably will bring a lot different?
I am, yeah. I don't race in California super often, and it's usually pretty different from here. So to go from full on East Coast to full on West Coast will be interesting. Should be cool, yeah. Excited to see what's up over there.
Steve Walton here from Monster Army, Monster Energy. Congrats to all you guys. You guys are crushing it. This first question is for Erice. You're a full-time World Cup racer, and now you have 2 Pro Downhill Series events under your belt. As an up-and-coming female athlete, what are your thoughts on the Pro Downhill Series in comparison to the World Cup?
I think it's really cool to have something different. It's kind of, I mean, it's a bit of a lame topic, I suppose, but having the money in it, I think brings a lot of people to it. Whereas like World Cups, especially for juniors, isn't very good for that kind of side of things. Also just having like a completely different kind of bunch of people, I suppose, is really cool. Like it's such a cool atmosphere here and at the last race as well. And I think that's something that's pretty cool, yeah.
Aletha, this one's for you. As an up-and-coming female athlete, how beneficial do you think it is to have access to this prize purse?
I think it's honestly really, really good. I travel quite a bit, so it's really nice to be coming and traveling here and getting all of like the exposure and getting a little bit from it in the fact of I can continue traveling with this, what I win. And honestly, I really appreciate it because it's hard to travel and not always win like a good prize. So it's really, really rewarding to do that.
Shelly, now we're coming over to you. So this series is your primary focus this year, and how beneficial is it to have this series to brand yourself and your sponsors?
Honestly, it's really good. As they said, it's hard in the sport to travel all over, whether it's America or the world, and it's really good to have some proper prize money, and it's a good incentive, honestly. Like we're trying really hard out there, training all year, so it's good to have some payback, and yeah, it's good to have. It's like this. This year is really cool. It's like extra exposure, and you get the full race run on videos and the full YouTube replay. It's really cool to see the sport like step up and really give the athletes some exposure back, some money back, and like, yeah, it's a good showcase.
Clay from Monster Energy Pro Downhill. This is a question I'd like to get an answer from each of you on this. So we're really focusing on track building and what we can do to create good tracks, and we invest a lot in it, and we get our venues to invest a lot in it as well. And I think one of the most interesting things this weekend was the way the track broke down. And I know historically at a high level race, that's an important factor, right? Like the track needs to break down properly. I was curious to get an opinion from each of you on how much the track broke down from the day you started practice till your race run. Because there were certain sections of that track that looked like a 450 moto main, and it was wild. I mean, there was super deep ruts and things like that. And I was curious if, what you thought of that and if you liked it.
Yeah, I think it broke down pretty good. We had like a wet track on the first day of practice, so that was something different, and that helped the process begin, I suppose. I think my main feedback was it broke down a lot, but there were quite a few line choices, but there was only kind of one fast line. So I think having more options in line choice that would like kind of be good for different riding styles. I think that's a good thing because I think most people were on pretty similar lines throughout the whole track, and I think that's the one thing that I found lacking kind of in this track.
Yeah, I also really agree with that. I appreciate having like many different lines. It really shows like what your riding style is compared to other people. But I loved the course. I loved how it turned out. It started off like kind of wet and like a little tacky, and then it went totally dry, which was honestly sick. And there were still some moto ruts in there you were scared of, but otherwise I think over time the course turned out good even in the end.
Yeah, I think the track was like honestly a perfect mix of a little bit of everything. Like you had some rocks, which is pretty typical of here, and some like good fun jumps. You had some like fast grass sections, like full on like 4 or 5 corners, a good couple sprint sections, rock gardens, like, yeah, there's a really good big mix of everything. So like a lot of the sections like changed differently. Like you had some bits that had like some pretty massive ruts, like, and some bits were like a beach, like super dry, some mud here and there. So it's like, it was a good mix, because then the track like aged, I think it aged well. Like it was a bit different today than it was Friday, but not like drastically, no drastic changes that were like terrifying or anything.
Cool, thank you. It's great to hear your opinion on that stuff. Thanks.
Rich with the Gravity Cooperative, and I have a question for all three of y'all separate. I'm going to start with Aletha over here on the left. The competition these past 2 rounds has been tight. We've got a couple of months between now and round 3. What are your plans between now and then to prepare for Big Bear?
I would say it's more of, I'm just racing a lot. So it's kind of like using those races as a training way, because I immediately leaving after this, going to Downhill Southeast, and then I'm going straight to Europe after that. It's just riding all the time and racing. That's really like how I train. And then obviously you have your off training of like your sprints and your workouts and stuff like that, but mainly just riding and racing all the time.
Well, Erice, coming off of round 1 of this series at Rock Creek, and then the first 2 rounds of the World Cup in Scotland and Poland, I know this course is quite different. How would you say this track played to your strengths, and what aspects of it did you find most challenging?
I think for me, I don't like sprints, but I think I gained some time in the sprint down the bottom because I've been training quite a lot. So I think that played to my advantage. So like this few top sections are pretty rocky, and at home I ride just roots and like loam kind of. So that was quite hard for me, and having changing like conditions with rocks moving around. So I didn't feel so good in those sections. But yeah, I think overall the track was pretty cool.
I'm going to add on to that, and I was actually standing at the last corner in split 1 coming into the hole shot.
Yeah.
And that corner was breaking down a bit during the race, and I noticed you had a moment there and had some words for yourself coming out. Do you remember that, and what was your mindset after that to kind of pull it all back together for the win?
Yeah, I like just missed the right on the exit kind of, and was kind of washing out over the like lump before the next section. And I think my mindset was just kind of leave that behind. I got the rest of the track to go with. I'm better down the bottom than the top, so I could pull back some time down there. But yeah, I had a pretty clear mind. I'm kind of used to having those moments on a race run and then kind of clearing my mind and getting ready for the rest of the track.
Shell, the beginning of your season didn't have a lot of great luck for you. You had some mechanicals, you had some rough starts, some rough goes, but things have been coming around. You've been building up some momentum. You're on the podium here for round 2, slotted in the 3rd seat, and yeah, like how does it feel? You feel like the momentum's building up for you? You feeling like your mindset's getting a little more dialed in?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm used to bad luck and weird things happening. That's just life, really. But yeah, I'm glad things are falling together. Like I'm just having more fun, focusing on myself and what I need to do and what I want to do, rather than a whole lot of other useless factors. So I'm pretty glad. Like yeah, things are falling together. I'm having fun and I'm racing fun races and fun series that I enjoy. So yeah, it's good.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to all 3 of you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, ladies, thank you. Congratulations. 3 different countries representing here on the podium here at Monster Energy Pro Downhill Series. You guys absolutely lit it up. Killed it. Thank you, and we'll see you at the next one.
Thank you.
All right, speaking of spicy, let's talk about your race runs. We're here for the press conference for the Monster Energy Pro Downhill Series number 2. We've got 3 entirely new athletes owning the top of the podium for round 2. Really exciting to see that. I'm going to open it up to the audience if anyone has questions for these young rock stars.
Nick from representing Vital Mountain Bike. First, congrats to all 3 of you. It's awesome. just wanted to ask each one of you a couple questions, starting with Asa. So, Asa, what's on your mind? This has been a pretty whirlwind of a year. How are you feeling?
Yeah, man, it's been crazy. I didn't think I was going to make it to the first World Cup. Ended up winning it. Crazy. Got the second one, too, and I hurt my knee, actually, in Poland, so I wasn't sure I was going to race this one either. It's been off and on this year, and, yeah, it's been going pretty good.
Nice. Glad to hear it. So it seems, at least, you're notorious for seeding outside of the top spot and then taking it home on the day. Is there anything you do between your seeding and your race to kind of get your mind right?
I have no idea why I do that. It just works out that way, I guess. I'd rather be the last dude at the top, like even at the World Cups, it'd be sick, but I just messed up my qualities and, yeah, just had a better race run.
Fair enough, that'll happen. And so this question is more about Mountain Creek and the track. So this is not your first time for the Monster Energy Pro Downhill Series, right? But
No, I broke my hip last time I was in the race.
fair enough. Yeah, so it's a little better this time. Yeah. What did you think of Mountain Creek and the track?
Yeah, the track was rad. It was definitely like soft and rocky. In the beginning, it was a bit tough to see like the lines and stuff. There's sniper rocks. You had to be like consistently smooth and just staying on your line. But it got really good by race day, fast. Most of the rocks that were scary were gone, so you were just able to rip, and yeah, it was sick.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Dante,
Yo.
welcome to New Jersey.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to ask, how does travel affect your race run at all? Like, you've just traveled from across the world. Are you used to it, or how's it play into your mindset for a race today?
Yeah, I mean, luckily being from SoCal, I'm pretty used to the travel because pretty much if I want to do a race, I have to get on an airplane. But, I mean, it definitely affects me a little bit, but I already have my tricks and ways to work with jet lag, and, I mean, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to come over for the round 2 of the Pro Downhill Series, so I came home and then got on another flight to come out here to Mountain Creek.
Awesome. Glad to have you. How does it feel winning the SR Sun Tour Hole Shot Award?
It feels good, especially because after seeding, I was like really wanting the win. So it feels good to win something from this kid over here. But yeah, I came out hot and a couple bobbles, but I mean it happens in every run. So you just got to take what you can get, and yeah, stoked on it.
Awesome. And finally, what did you think of the conditions here in New Jersey?
It was good. Just like Asa said, like first day was slow and a little bit wet, and it kind of just felt like we were like waiting for the track to come to us. But by today, it definitely felt like a racetrack. It was running fast, it was dry, it was loose, and everyone was ripping, so it was good.
Cole, we've been talking all weekend, but
Yeah.
how are you feeling?
Pretty stoked. Yeah, I was like qualified 4th yesterday, or like seeded 4th, and yeah, I was happy with that. And I was like, if I can get a top 5, I'll be super stoked. And top 3 I'm gonna have to push hard for it. So did exactly that, and happy to come away with that.
This is definitely a unique track in the United States in terms of it being brand new, right? So
Yep.
how did the changing track conditions factor into your line choices and ultimately your run?
Honestly, the track changed quite a bit from the first day. It was like a bit slimy, and there's just so many rocks, so you're kind of just like pinging all the way down, like just getting all over the place. Hard to stay on your line. And then yesterday it dried up pretty good, and I'd say today is about the same as yesterday, just burned in more. So yeah, everything fell together pretty good.
Yeah. So we're coming from New Jersey and we're going back to your neck of the woods. How are you excited for it?
Yeah, I'm excited for Big Bear next. I don't know how the track will change much, but I've ridden Big Bear a lot, being from SoCal originally. So excited to be back in the dry dirt and see how that goes.
Awesome. All right. Well, congrats to all 3 of you, and
Thank
enjoy
you.
the rest of your day.
Thank you. Awesome questions so far. I'm sure there's some more. Let's go. All right.
Oh, spill it.
Buckle up, boys.
Hey, fellas.
What's up, dude?
All right, Steve Walton here from Monster Energy. A few questions for you guys. Dante, the rest of your team is over in Europe with this off week between the World Cups. What was your big motivator for coming back to the States to do this event?
Honestly, for me, I think the beginning of the World Cup season has not really gone how I wanted it to go. So I just felt like I needed to get another race in, especially like mid-season. It's always good to just keep racing, so that way it's not a huge deal when you go back overseas and go in those World Cup start gates. And I mean, honestly, we can all say it, but the money's pretty good. So we're all chasing that bag. And I mean, the track's good and the vibes are just super cool at these races. So I love coming home and seeing all the boys again from home and racing in the States.
Yeah, no shame there. Appreciate the honesty. Asa, this one's for you. Obviously, your year's been off to a great start with the last 2 World Cup results. What are your goals for this season?
This first 2 World Cups, I was just going into it with no training, nothing. I just wanted to do my best, have fun on the bike, and that's what I've been doing those 2 past World Cups and this race. I just been having most fun on my bike. I've probably have had more fun since, I don't know, I started riding. It's been rad being over in Europe, and I just want to try to keep carrying that on and see if we can keep rolling.
That's awesome. And so these last 2 rounds, are you planning on coming out, making an appearance?
I'm hoping to make it to Big Bear. That'd be rad. Nico's going, so we'll see if I can squeeze in.
I like it. Cole, we're coming over to you, the beautiful sunglasses.
Yep.
3rd place this weekend. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Congrats, man.
Thank you.
How are you feeling? You had a good result in North Carolina and now 3rd place on the box here. What are your goals for the rest of the series?
Honestly, just keep the results coming. Try to stay consistent. I feel like I'm usually pretty good with that. So just see if we can keep at it. And definitely some good U.S. competition out there right now. So I'm just happy to be sharing the podium with these 2 guys today. But just keep it rolling.
Sweet. And then a question for all 3 of you. We can start off with Dante over there. How are you guys celebrating the good results this weekend?
Oh. We might get some sushi tonight, a couple brews going. But yeah, no, it's good fun. But I mean, in the end of the day, I do have to fly back out to Europe after this. So take it a little easy and make sure to keep the body healthy.
Okay. Asa?
I mean, just go to dinner, enjoy it. I don't know. I'm just stoked that it worked out, and I usually don't celebrate too much. I'm just stoked that it happened.
Cole?
He'll enjoy a cold Fanta.
Yeah. Staying with my good buddy Titus here, my teammate. So we'll probably hit up some fishing in a bit, and then stay here for the rest of the week. Catch a couple laps here. I've never been here, so stoked to hit some of the jump trails and stuff like that, and then head over to West Virginia for the next Downhill Southeast next weekend and have fun there.
Sweet. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for coming. Big congrats again, and we'll see you at the next one.
Thank you.
What's up, fellas? Future so bright, you got to wear shades.
Yeah.
So we've talked a bit about this being a fresh track and the breakdown of the track over the weekend, but what I'm curious about is, I want to hear from each of you on this. Did your line choice change much throughout the weekend? Did it kind of stay relatively the same?
Actually, line choice did not change too much. It did get a little bit rougher as the weekend progressed, but on the first day, it was slick, but based on the weather forecast, I kind of knew that it was going to be drying out as the weekend progressed, so I kind of just chose the dry lines on the first day of practice, and it pretty much stayed the same for finals day today.
Yeah, usually this practice, it was muddy, and it was muddy, so I was just taking all the main lines, trying to stay on the trail, not get pinged around by the rocks too much, and when it's dry out, I just try to rip the main line as fast as I can, and if there's other lines that show up on race day or something, I'll change to it, but
yeah. Pretty much stuck to my lines. If I did change something, it was by a couple inches just to avoid some main rocks to keep the wheels safe on the way down, but yeah, not too big of changes, so it was good.
The other question I have is, it seemed like everybody was hedging their bets it was going to be dry today, but we did have a little threat of a thunderstorm looming overhead. Did you guys know that was a possibility? And honestly, were you sweating that at all?
Yeah, I knew for sure that it was possibly going to rain today. But for me, it's not a big deal as long as it's the same for everyone. That's what I always say. If it's muddy, then it's fine. But as long as it's muddy for everyone. So I was not too worried. I was just, whatever happens, and we're just going to adjust with whatever happens.
After Poland and riding in the mud, probably my first mudder race, I was actually having so much fun there. So I would have been stoked if it rained. It was sick sliding around in there. So I just like riding my bike, and if it's any condition, it's fine.
Honestly, yeah, I was sweating a little bit. Just being from California, I prefer the dry. But first day it was pretty wet, and we were sliding around a bit. So I feel like it couldn't have been like too much worse, but you never know. But conditions stayed good and dry, so I'm down for that.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Clay from Monster Energy Pro Downhill here. I had a couple quick questions for you guys. The first, so during the finals, I'm located in the finish corral. I got my radio, I got my phone, just running comms between the officials and our race staff and media. And I was standing there when you came down, Cole. And first of all, thank you for not killing me. You came so close to taking my feet out with your bike.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah. And you screamed something that was somewhat of to the effect of not knowing how you survived that run or something. So I was curious, can you walk us through the run and tell us how loose it really was?
Oh, yeah. Honestly, like, my run yesterday was pretty flawless, and I was, like, pretty far back off these guys. So I was like, we need to push pretty hard today. And I did that and was honestly about to crash in every single corner up there. But we held it together, sprinted hard towards the bottom. I think I was, like, 14th of the first split and somehow made up some time towards the bottom. So, yeah, and came down and, like, everyone was cheering. And, yeah, it felt pretty cool. And honestly just wanted to like slot into first. There was Lucas Dador that was holding it for a while there. That kid's super fast and talented. So yeah, just stoked to be like in the mix with these guys.
Cool. It was pretty wild. The celebration I believe your celebration exceeded every winner's celebration. Yeah. So, but the other question I want to ask, we've made the move in the U.S., like on U.S. soil, to allow and encourage even juniors who are ready to step up to the pros on U.S. soil, Asa, for instance, today. And to some degree, Asa, you're even becoming an old dog, right, with your age, because I don't know if you looked at the times, but you guys have some kids 13 to 16, like right on your heels. And I was curious, I just wanted to hear a statement from each of you on what you thought of the juniors, the juniors below Asa on this day here. Their times, and if you feel like they're coming for you.
Cash Shailene broke his chain in the rock garden up top, and he was only 3 seconds off of us, 4 seconds off of us. So that's insane. Didn't get to pedal the entire flat section. He was ripping. It's rad to have upcoming dudes that'll push us harder, and we'll just try to keep ripping.
Yeah, I mean, with Cash is the big one that we look at, Cash Shailene. I'm looking at his time before I go up for my race run to see kind of what we're feeling that day, you know what I mean? Especially for qualies, I got a 2:23 in practice with my GoPro, just kind of timed it myself, and then he came down and he got a 2:19 in his qualies, and I was like, okay, we got to go pretty quick today. I mean, it's so sick to see the new generation absolutely ripping. And yeah, I mean, I see these kids and they're ripping way harder than I mean, even Asa over here, but they're ripping way harder than when we were that age. So it's pretty exciting to see what they're gonna do when they get to the pro level.
Yeah, and I think the second part of that question I may have left out is they're following Asa's footsteps, and on U.S. soil, I mean, there's nothing stopping them from joining your class. So you will be racing head-to-head with these guys real quick. So, cool. Thank you. I don't know. I guess we can hear Cole's opinion on that too. Let's hear it.
Yeah. These kids are super fast coming up. Honestly, scaring us a bit, especially the ones jumping up into our class. But it's good. I think the U.S. is good for that, and yeah, I feel like after me and Dante's group we had there like wasn't much coming up, and I was honestly getting a little worried like that the U.S. talent was fading out. But then this next group of kids coming up is absolutely insane. So I think there's a good amount of kids that are fast coming up.
Nice. Don't stop training.
Exactly.
I Drew with the Gravity Co-op. Cole, so your day job, you work at a downhill place and you build trail. So let's hear, aside from a racer's view, on how this course came together and judge it for the trail work that was done.
Honestly, I don't have much like trail experience. I kind of just like follow what the boys tell me over there at Windrock, and but yeah, everything's pretty sick over there, and yeah, the trail here was super sick. Good amount of jumps, good amount of flow, good amount of rocks, just everything in there. So it made the track really fun.
Excellent. Dante, SR Sun Tour whole shot winner. Obviously, that's some good motivation to get out of the start gate quick, but how does it affect the rest of your race run?
I think on a track like this, it's relatively short, so it doesn't affect me too much. But I think it just shows like, the intensity coming out of the gate. It's only 20 seconds, so as the run goes on, more mistakes can happen, and there's just more riding that, things can go wrong. But I really definitely came out of the gate hot, and I was going for it, just trying to beat this kid right here. But yeah, I mean that's what we train for. So I'm going all out, top to bottom, and if I can't handle it, then I gotta get back to the works at home.
Right on. And Asa, to tag onto that, you won the race, but you didn't win the whole shot. What do you think was the difference there? Where do you think you made it up?
Yeah, in the last couple World Cups, I've seen that I am slower in the beginning and I build towards the end, and I don't know why. I guess in this track, it was like a super fast 20 seconds. So it was like you had to be perfect on your lines and everything to get that whole shot. And I just didn't have the cleanest top section, I guess. And then I just kept pushing to the bottom, and yeah.
Right on. Well, good job, all three of you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, fantastic, guys. Thank you for coming out to the Monster Energy Pro Downhill Series, stop number 2. You guys absolutely killed it. Really cool to see a whole fresh changing of the guard here at the press conference. Thank you. Good luck with the rest of your seasons.